All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Abubakar Yunusa, a core northern influencer, wrote, breaking news, His Excellency Peter Obi met the leader of the Talakawas, Dr. Sule Lamido, CON, in his Abuja residence behind closed doors. And you can find the pictures there on your screen. I'm happy to see sitting senator and former governor of Bayelsa State, Siraki Dixon, there in one of those pictures. Now, there are no details on what they discussed yet, but I'm sure we know what it is all about. I want to see more visitations like this from Peter Obi. I want to see less interviews now, less interviews and speeches. I want to see Dr. Yunus Atanko and other members of Obi's team making videos detailing how to be a registered obedient member. And finally, I want to see moves and talks on how to sanitize the electoral system, particularly as it relates to the transfer of results from the polling unit to the IREV. Meet ADC, NMPP, SDP, APGA leaders. I am not asking for a coalition. That should be Obi's discussion with them. I am not asking for a coalition or support. I am only looking to have a system where the man with the most legit votes is declared winner in any elections. Meet Abdusalam Abubakar. He's the one that heads all the peace meetings during the elections. Meet him. We know he is not sincere, but still meet him and put it to him that we want to sanitize the electoral system. Meet Obasanjo, meet Gowon, Emir of Kano, Sultan of Sokoto, even the ones supporting TINUBU like Oni of Ife. I am not asking for your support, should be the discussion. I am only asking for a better democracy, for a better Nigeria, through an almost blemish-free electoral law. Then take the bill to sign the transfer of results into law to the National Assembly. Then let us see if any of these elites will be able to come publicly and say that we should not sanitize the electoral system. Even the senators cannot say it publicly. So let us push for this thing and see how it goes. Because no matter the collaboration, TINUBU will still rig. Now, let us look at the top stories. TINUBU and his cabinet members shocked Nigerians hours ago with perhaps the most absurd move ever by any government in the history of mankind. TINUBU and his cabinet have directly told Nigerians to kneel down and pray and fast for food to fall down from heaven. This is coming a month after Chief of Army Staff said only prayer can help Nigeria conquer insecurity. And concurrently, Aso Rock placed a huge unfair allegation on 35,000 civil servants in Nigeria. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. This video here buttresses my point when I say the APC government hates young Nigerians. Watch this interview.
About it, Kate and Tercy, have we lost the younger generation or your own generation in the scheme of how democracy works?
You have, I would say that they are outside of it. They do not feel included in democracy. Just going past the toll gate today, I saw a huge amount of police trucks, nothing less than 30. I wonder why they gather there. If people choose to come outside and hold flags and say, oh, we don't feel like, oh, we want to celebrate, what is that presence for? That rubbed me off the wrong way already, because you are anticipating problems. And there shouldn't be. People should be able to move around freely. So I wonder why they were there. And for me, it was like the person who is in power today was one of the most vocal against it.
The person in power today was the most vocal against Goodluck Jonathan. But today, he doesn't want anybody to speak against his government. And that was actress and activist Kate Henshaw there, describing the state of the Lekki toll gate on the so-called Democracy Day. Now, the kind of security that would usually not be deployed to tackle highway kidnappers was sent to Lekki toll gate in anticipation of youths who may want to speak up about the killings that took place during the NSAS protest under Buhari at the toll gate. If you are a government and you don't hate young people, you will organize a meeting at that same toll gate and call it reconciliation for a better nation. And in that meeting, you will gather youths and assure them that the nation belongs to them and that what happened at the toll gate was an unfortunate event, a tragedy whose marks are indelible but would never reoccur. Then the youths will begin to heal. But no, they won't do that because the country does not belong to the young people now. It belongs to APC and the organs of government that they control. That is why they brought police and other military personnel heavily armed, ready to unleash similar terror as the one that hitherto traumatizes the youths. This is not how a democracy works, and as it stands, the political actors in power will never offer anything different. The youths and the rest of the masses can only take their country back if they unite and ask for it. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that terrible allegation placed on 100,000 Nigerians, including 35,000 civil servants, by Agric. And next is that disastrous update. TINUBU and his cabinet have given up on food production in Nigeria. They are now telling Nigerians to pray and fast for food to fall from heaven. What a calamity. Let's start by taking that allegation on Nigerians and civil servants. Look at how the papers reported it. Presidential aide Sunday Dare has revealed that Tinubu's credit card scheme has benefited over 100,000 Nigerians, including over 35,000 civil servants. No fewer than 100,201 Nigerians, including over 35,000 civil servants, have benefited from the Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation, an initiative established by Bola Tinubu to expand access to affordable consumer credits nationwide. Spokesperson Mr. Sunday Dare, who made this disclosure, stated that the initiative, launched as part of Tinubu's economic reform agenda, aimed to democratize access to credit and improve quality of life by enabling responsible and affordable borrowing. You heard that. Please, if you have ever taken any loan from that credit core initiative that this spokesperson Sunday Dare just described here, let me know in the comment section. This is the situation we have found ourselves in this country. These people will just wake up and throw unfounded claims into the media. Over 100,000 Nigerians, including 35,000 civil servants in this country. Really? In this same country? How come NLC didn't mention anything like that when they broke down all that they had received from the government and they ended up cursing the government for making their lives worse? It is always the government coming out to say how they have given millions of Nigerians money, but you will never find anybody saying, I received anything. And unapologetic refined Arewa here says, only on the media, nobody has acknowledged this so-called constant claim of empowerment from APC government's financial terrorism. It is actually financial terrorism. I'm so tired of all these lies. And Adira here says, Bambiala government, if you know anybody that has benefited, let us know. Nobody has benefited. It's all lies. We saw it work under Buhari. That was one of the biggest ways through which Buhari siphoned money. And then the ways and means loans. This claim to send money to people, it is all lies. What a shame. And as the tweets kept rolling in condemning this update from Sunday Dare, that update from Tinubu and his cabinet on replacing intensive farming for food production with prayer and fasting for food took over. The chief of army staff said we needed prayer to fight insecurity. Now, the Ministry of Agric has taken it to another level, declaring 3 days prayer and fasting for food security in Nigeria. Look at how the papers reported it. Extra, Agric Ministry declares 3-day prayer and fasting for food security. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has declared a 3-day fasting and prayer program for divine intervention in the country's agricultural sector. In an internal circular dated June 11 and seen by the cable, Adedayo Modupe, the ministry's director of human resource management, said the spiritual exercise is intended to seek God's guidance for Nigeria's food security efforts. Modupe said all members of staff of the ministry are expected to observe the fasting and be part of the prayer sessions. This is to invite all staff of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to a solemn prayer session for God's guidance and success in supporting the government's efforts to achieve food security. The circular reads, the theme of the session is Divine Intervention for Protection and National Development. The prayers will hold at Conference Hall B of the FMAFS headquarters in Area 11, Garki, Abuja, from 12 p.m. to 12:30 p.m. on each scheduled date. According to the circular, staff are expected to come fasting on Monday, June 16, and continue on June 23 and June 30. Wow, this is the circular here. You can zoom in and read it. This is the circular. We now pray and fast for food security in Nigeria. It is finished. And you will agree with me that it is actually finished. Prayer and fasting for food security. We have some of the best soils in the world, some of the most agriculture friendly soils in the world. We also have one of the most agriculture friendly climates in the world. We have a teeming youth population, and somebody is saying that we need to pray and fast for food security. Even in the Bible, when God gave Pharaoh a dream that Egypt was about to fall into famine, when Joseph interpreted the dream, what did they do? They got to work. They got to work and began to intensify their farming and storage systems. But here in Nigeria, the history of Agric is saying we should fast and pray. This shows that the government has completely accepted defeat when it comes to the issue of food security. And why are they accepting defeat? Because they don't want to do the needful. One of the biggest problems of food security in Nigeria today is the fact that farmers cannot go to farms. Farmers are being slain. They are being slaughtered on their farms by killer herdsmen. So to provide security is now the issue, because you don't want to put your foot down and say that these acts of terrorism must stop because you are complicit. You are now saying that people should pray and fast. When they pray and fast, what will happen? Manna will fall from heaven. Even if manna starts falling today, is it only manna we will eat? Is manna balanced diet? Or are you telling me that yams and cassava will also fall from heaven? There is no record of that in the Bible now. And imagine if a big watermelon falls straight from heaven and lands on the head of the Minister of Agric. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Let's take some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here by Idris says, "This is shameful and it is a mockery against faith and God." I am telling you, pure mockery. So the APC has graduated from mocking Nigerians to now mocking faith. And Medishow here says, "Nonsense. Prayer in the face of budget padding, fraud, theft, misappropriation, industrial dishonesty, zero capacity, cluelessness. Let them share money to Islamic clerics and Christian clergies who specialize in commercial prayer." That is it. You go and pay people to pray. We are deceiving ourselves in this country. And Stainless here says, "Wow, just when you think you have seen it all, this leader's viewpoint leaves you speechless. Tinubu might want to check if he still got the right man for the job, because this is something else." But this guy replied him. He said the wrong man for the job should check if he got the wrong man for the job. That is it. Is the Tinubu himself the right man for the job? And Tukimike here says, "Nigeria is not a serious place. How did Nigerians become this stupid? Stand up and fight for your freedom." That is what we have been saying here. If Nigerians don't get up and say enough is enough, these people will keep going lower and lower by the day. And Solomon here says, "Unbelievable. What is this? The height of incompetence in APC is too dangerous. Very annoying. They are taking this country down to a bottomless pit." This tweet here says, "Israel is at war, yet there is no prayer in their country for food security. Nigeria Ministry of Agriculture is planning for fasting and prayers on food security. Who do us?" My brother, if you ask me, who I go ask? You heard that. Disgraceful, gross incompetence from the Ministry of Agric. And that circular came from the highest authority from the ministry. That is how it works. It will go through a lot of tables. They will approve it. And don't think that this was just something that somebody thought of. No. You will be surprised that there was a budgetary allocation for it, for this 3 days prayer and fasting, for food production to pick up in Nigeria. I have never heard a thing like this before. This is gross incompetence, and it is the same thing that is happening in all other ministries in Nigeria. Gross incompetence. When you add everything together, it is the reason why we have the nation that we are in today. So when I tell people that it's not really because they removed subsidy, it's not really because they floated the naira, it is because we don't have brains working for this country, or simply because the people in charge want the country to be the way it is today. So you are going to pick any one of those two that you are comfortable with. But to say that it is time that we need for things to pick up, my brother, nothing is ever going to pick up. But who are the people that suffer? It is the masses. It is the citizens. They are the ones that bear the brunt of all this incompetence and all this gross failure. And that is why I keep telling Nigerians that we must begin to tell ourselves the truth. Tribe, religion, and other aboriginal sentiments has never helped anybody, have never helped anybody in this country, and we must begin to put those things aside with the level that this country has come to now if we desire to still have a country in the near future. Nigerians, north, south, east, and west, Christians, Muslims, pagans must come together, cast their sentiments aside, and unite to get the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town, make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because now because of una, now I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go away.